All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. Gosh, this chair is like in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. Let me get to my channel. So, how is everybody doing today? I'm doing good. It's kind of a cold day today, which is good because I like the cold, and it makes it even better for having tea as well. I don't know what the temperature is today. Anyway, hope everybody can hear me all right. Yeah. Okay. Let me tilt this. There we go. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Hello, little gamer. Time to warm up some of the china. Okay. So, yeah, today the apartment complex was being inspected. So my apartment was one of the places that needed to be inspected this morning. So, yeah, I had to completely make sure the whole apartment was 100% clean and tidy. Everything's put away. The bed is made, everything. So, yeah, I did that all this morning. There goes the train. That is a bit slow. Hold on. That's better. Okay. Shouldn't be that slow. Alright, so, oh, thank you so much, hello, Mike. How's it going? Hello, Ken. Hello, Mark. Says it's already night where they are. Mike says 7:03 p.m. Yeah, oh, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I've started playing music. This soundtrack is actually on my friend's channel. So my friend Shiloh from HenryHallFan, this is his soundtrack that he put together using a whole bunch of other music pieces and stuff. And it's supposed to be themed to like being on the Queen Mary while at sea, like you're listening to music while you're at sea. And so I think he did a really good job putting all the music together. It's just the right combination of stuff. So that's what I'm playing in the background. Let's see. So about 2 hours ago or so, I put out a video, and it detailed my my plans to go to the UK to film and stuff. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. It goes more in depth as to what I plan to do, but even all the locations I mentioned in the video are not all the locations that we have planned. There is a lot more that we have planned. It's just that I didn't want to list all of them. But yeah, so I'm actually really excited about that. And to anybody that wants to see those videos come out a lot sooner, I would like to try to book a voyage as soon as possible and make this happen as soon as possible. Probably closer to October, November is when I would like to go. But the only thing is I couldn't save up money that fast. So if anybody wants to help with that, there is a GoFundMe link. Oh darn, I didn't put it in this video. I can put it real quick. Let me go get the link. Just watch the train. Paste. Save. All right. So I put the link to the GoFundMe both in the chat and in the description of the video. So if you refresh the video, you'll see the link in the description. Otherwise, you'll see it in the chat. Now, time to start brewing. Oh, Grim says if I could leave the link to the music in the chat or something. Yeah, let me just start brewing this, and then I'll go get the link for that. Here we go. 406. Let's just say 407, so gotta check on it at 412. Oh well. I don't feel like whatever. Okay, 411. All right, I'm gonna go get the link for the music, and then I'll put that in the chat or in the description of the video. Just a second. Let's see. Okay. The link for the music is also in the chat, as well as the link for, or the link in the description of the video as well. It's so the link I gave you is for like one video of two. So there's like a afternoon video, and then there's like an evening video, I think. But yeah, they're both really good, and they're just like a playlist. Like it's just like a bunch of music in one video. Okay, so gotta read the chat here. Let's see, who do we have in the chat? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Malai says hello from Thailand. So hello. Hello, Chris. Hello, Madeline. Oh, Tyler, you're getting a new apartment? Awesome. Yeah, I was so glad when I got this one. It's so nice to have my own place. Let's see. Mark says, another movie that features interiors of the Queen Mary is Goliath Awaits. A little cheesy, but interesting. The first class pool is shown in detail with water still in it. Yep, I've heard of that movie. Let's see here. Aaron, I don't think I'll ever cover true crime. I don't think so. Awesome. Well, I just finished catching up on the chat here. So, in any case, I hope everybody is doing really well. So what I have here for people who are new, so basically this whole China set is from the Cunard ships from before 1967, I want to say. And all of these were used on ships such as Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, possibly Sylvania, and possibly other ships like Caronia and stuff. So yeah. Caronia? Is that right? No, I'm thinking of something else. I said Sylvania. Oh, possibly Mauretania too is probably what some of these were used on. But anyway, yeah, so just a little introduction to the China set. So the newest piece I have is from 1967. The oldest piece I have is from 1952. You can see that there's it's basically white china, and there's little bands of color there. There's two little bands of yellow, and I would say like an amber yellow, and then one band of gray. It's supposed to represent the sunset over the gray waters of the Atlantic. So yes, all this is original china, and I got it because I really wanted to collect it and be able to say that, I'm, I don't know, feel like I'm kind of on, the Queen Mary. Ah, that's really hot. Jeez. Feel like I'm on the Queen Mary, having tea or something. Let's see. Cool. All this stuff is boiling hot. I usually have a place for everything, but yeah, that's better. Alright, let me put this lid back on properly without slamming it. There we go. And you'll notice that what I did today was I pre-warmed the vessels, because it is real china, and real china, it can crack with thermal shock. So if the china is cold and you're putting boiling hot water in it, you can crack it. So to prevent that, I preheat it a little bit with hot tap water, and then I go back in and reheat the tap water with a little bit of boiling water. Then I dump it all out, and then I can use it. Alright. And a little recap. I have these little demi-tasse spoons. So I usually like 1.5 spoons of sugar. Where's my... Oh, there it is. And then you give that a stir back and forth, not around and around. It's quieter, and it incorporates the sugar a lot faster. This is just really more like etiquette, tea etiquette. So it's not like your life will end if you don't do it this way. It's just tea etiquette. And then I like a splash of cream in all of my black teas. So yes, today's tea is Earl Grey. Technically, according to the rotation that I have of the teas that I drink, it's supposed to be a English breakfast tea today, but I really felt like having Earl Grey today. I just really needed Earl Grey, so that's what I did. I have here these are cucumber tea sandwiches. So I make these all myself. You know, most of the stuff here I make myself, but basically what it is it's just sliced cucumber on bread. The spread is made of 2 parts cream cheese to 1 part mayonnaise, and then you put fresh chopped dill in there, and then you season with a little bit of garlic powder and salt. It's very simple, but it's a really refreshing lunch treat. You know, it's very good. And then right here I have 2 different treats. So, oh, I don't even have my computer screen up. Okay. That should help me to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. So, this here is chocolate covered digestives. It's a type of biscuit you have with tea. It's really delicious. And then right next to it, I have Scottish shortbread that I make here at my house. I used to buy it, but it's really expensive for me to import it, so I just rather make it myself. So a little bit of Scottish shortbread, and that's basically what it is. All right, let me see if I've missed any. Oh, Jeffrey says, I thought you booked your trip when I saw your video pop up today. I was excited for you. Yeah, well, you know, I've had this plan for months and months and months now. Probably closer to 6 months. And I realized that it's going to take me forever to save up for this. Based off of how little money I make, it'll probably take 10 years for me to save up. And so I thought, you know, this isn't just for me. This is going to be a series of videos for the channel. It's got the potential of making at least 50 videos from this trip, with the possibility of it being 3 times as many videos. And the reason why I say that is because, like, if you look at, in 2020, I went to visit the original Queen Mary, and I filmed about 1.5 hours of footage while I was there. And that footage was only meant to be put into, like, a single vlog, just one video, a vlog. That's all it was. But 2 years later, that footage has gone to use in more than 30 different videos. So I was able to reuse a lot of that footage for pretty much anything, and I'm still using it for a lot of stuff. So whatever I film in the UK, it will amount to about at least 50 videos, but if I keep using that footage over and over again, like I usually do with my Queen Mary footage, it'll last much longer. So, but nevertheless, I felt that this trip was really for the channel, because it's so that way I can make dozens upon dozens upon dozens of more videos for the channel. But I can't save up for it all on my own unless I plan to go 10 years from now. So that's why I made the video, was to be able to tell people, like, hey, I have a fundraiser set up and everything in case if anybody wants to support the channel and make this happen a lot sooner. So it would be nice if I could go this year and see everything, film everything, and then start making videos on all that stuff. But if not, I'll have to try again next year, and the next year, and the next year, whichever. But yeah, it would be really nice if I didn't have to wait 10 years to go. So that's why I made the video. And but yeah, you're not the only person to think that that the video meant something else. And but I tried to be as clear as I could. I thought I was, you know, like, clear at the end of the video, but you know, yeah. I changed the name, the title, a little bit to try to make it a little bit more clear. Mark says, I enjoyed your video of the Rolling Mary. Very well narrated. Do we know if the Queen Elizabeth also had stability issues, or had they learned from the Queen Mary design changes? So the Queen Elizabeth wasn't that bad. She rolled just like any ship would, and that's because they did know, they knew what they did wrong with Queen Mary, and so they made sure to ensure that Queen Elizabeth maintained that that equal balance of weight from the bottom of the ship and the top of the ship. Parakeet says, how often do you visit Queen Mary? I used to go about once every 8 years or so. 6 to 8 years. But I no longer live in Southern California. I live 1,000 miles north of it. So I actually don't have the ability to go to the Queen Mary that often anymore. When she reopens, I'm going to try to go down there to visit family first, but stay aboard the ship eventually. So that's what I kind of want to do, so that way I can film more of the ship and I can make more videos out of it. But otherwise, it's weird. I thought I saw something drop from the air. But yeah, otherwise, I really don't visit that often because I'm so far away now. Says, wow, I haven't seen a cup that cracks with heat. Something that's new. So yeah, old China, it cracks with extreme heat difference. So, you know, it's more about like the difference between the heat. So if it's cold and you put boiling water, it'll crack. But if the vessel's already hot, then it won't crack when you pour boiling water in it. But yeah, that's how China is, and as you can imagine, that's one of the reasons why people don't own China anymore, because everybody broke all their China. Because a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that China cracks with extreme heat. So, you know, I've known so many people that got rid of all their China and they're like, this stuff is useless. And I'm like, well, you got to preheat it, you know? Like, that's how things were before we got all of our modern technology for building, you know, plates and mugs that don't crack, you know? So, yeah. Let's have a little bit of Earl Grey. So good. It always makes me happy having this stuff. I think next time I order it, I'm going to order like 2 of these so I don't have to worry about how much I'm trying to save. Because the Earl Grey is my favorite. Let's see. Gabe says, I heard that someone wanted to restore the SS United States and she will sail again. Favorite ocean liner, by the way. Oh, nice. I haven't heard of that. I know, like, the last time someone talked about restoring the ship, that was, I think, 10 years ago was the last time I heard of it. A company back then was going to purchase the ship and restore it, but then they never ended up doing it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this new person will. This locomotive is what I call squeaky because it squeaks constantly. There's no fixing it because the area that's squeaking is an area that needs to stay dry. So I can't just oil it up. Vincent says, I'm glad you re-uploaded the Rolling Mary video. I enjoyed watching it the first time around. I was confused when I saw it was gone, as you were the only one talking about it. Yeah, I had to remove it because there was a lot of stuff in there that confused people. The way I wrote it wasn't the best. Originally, the way I wrote it made it sound like the builders were incompetent. And that wasn't the case, you know. Also, back then, I didn't feel it was necessary to explain why it rolled. So I didn't put that in the video originally. And so what ended up happening was people who watched the video were like, well, then why did it roll? And, you know, how dumb were the engineers? And I was just like, oh no, this totally created like the wrong soup of issues here. So I had to recreate the video and do it in a way that explained all those things away. You know, one of the things people said in the video, which I thought was really interesting, just because of the topic of the conversation, but a lot of people said, well, how come they didn't just wait for really bad weather to test the Queen Mary before they gave her the okay to go on her maiden voyage? And so that was one of the things I wanted to address when I redid the video, because a lot of people were wondering that same thing. And the thing is, you know, ships cost a lot of money to build. They need, as soon as they're done being built, they need to start making money. So you can't wait months or, you know, even a year for bad weather to show up just to test the ship. You have to put it into service no matter what. And besides, the weather is, you know, when you're testing a ship in bad weather, normally stuff breaks on a ship during bad weather. It's just, that's how it always is. It's, you know, so sometimes the damage is small, sometimes it's extensive. Like one time, RMS Lusitania got hit by a rogue wave. It smashed the entire superstructure flat. It was just, oh, it was a scary looking photo that I saw. But yeah, that's what can happen with bad weather. So you can't deliver a brand new ship, wait for really bad weather, and let it get beaten up by the ocean before you figure out what's wrong with it. You just have to put it into service. And so that was something I wanted to explain when I redid the video. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff to correct. I added over 4 minutes of brand new stuff to that video, as well as corrected a bunch of, like, I went through the entire narration script and rewrote things so it didn't sound like the engineers were incompetent, because they weren't. It wasn't the engineers' fault. It was because Cunard last minute were like, we don't want those boilers anymore, now we want the other boilers. And the other boilers weighed less, and that was the base of the whole issue. You know, it was, the difference was enough that taking on extra ballast didn't always help. You know, it was really more of like, they would have needed more capacity for ballast. So, gosh, that is so squeaky and annoying. Yes, so let's see. Little Gamer says, fresh dill is a meme on the channel at this point. It really is, because when I got this batch, half of it was rotten, the other half was perfectly fine. So I had to go through it, and it's stuffed in a tiny little box, right? And it's all intertwined. So the rotten leaves were combined with the fresh leaves, and I had to like pull the strands out apart from each other, throw away the rotten stuff, keep the fresh stuff. Because I'm not going to spend, you know, another exorbitant amount of money for groceries just because I need fresh dill. Like, I'm just going to pick the stuff that's good out. So that's what I did. It took me like 20 minutes to just sit there picking out all the bad parts and keeping the good stuff. And then from there I made my sandwich. I rinsed it all off, of course, but then I made my sandwich. So yeah, it's just fresh dill is an issue here. Vincent says, I think they had a plan for it a bit recently. I think you're talking about the SS United States? Oh, okay. I haven't been keeping up with it, so maybe there is a new plan or something. Malai says, did you see my comment? About your glasses? That's pretty cool. Mike says, how much does the trip cost? So the entire trip, going from Portland, Oregon to New York, across the ocean to the UK, then to France and Belfast, and then coming all the way back in that reverse order, the whole thing is maximum $8,000. So that includes like extra money for like emergency purposes. Like if something happens, like I get mugged or something while I'm out, and then I need extra, cash or whatever, I can have that sent to me, and stuff like that. So, but the whole thing maximum is $8,000, which when you think about it, being gone for a whole month on a trip like that, 8,000 is not bad compared to what it would normally be, because my friend and I, we worked on the details. My friend has been like all around the world, so he's got experience knowing like how to save money and stuff like that, where to get a good deal. He knows, like, he already know, like when I told him, I said, oh, like, let's go to Paris, he already knew what hotel to go to, because he's been going to the same hotel a few times already, because he can get a good deal there. So so we really planned the whole thing out to figure out how it's going to work. And then, he and I, we're just going to save money. We're going to share a room or whatever, wherever we go. So that way I don't have to pay the full amount for the room and stuff like that. So yeah, 8,000 is a lot, but compared to what the trip could cost, it's pretty cheap in comparison. But there's a full breakdown of the expenses on my link for the fundraiser for the trip. So you can go to the link, and in the fundraiser, I wrote like a whole description of like where, like the biggest, most popular stuff we plan to see. I didn't mention all the little tiny tidbits because there's a whole lot of it. Like there's dozens of locations that I think we could like stop by and film and whatever. But most of the main areas are listed in that description, and then as well as a breakdown of the costs. So like food, lodging, transit, admission to like various things and stuff like that. So yeah, because I know we will need to pay admission for if we go into museums and stuff, like the Titanic Museum, we plan to see that. HMS Belfast, we plan to see that. HMS Caroline, we plan to see that. Those will cost admission fees. So all that's been worked into the extras and stuff like that. So the whole breakdown is on that page. That way you'll know like what everything is going to and all that. And then while I'm on the trip, what I want to do is I want to live stream a lot. I want to see if maybe it's possible I could live stream every couple of days on the trip. Even while at sea, maybe, because while at sea it costs a lot of money to use their internet. But I want to try to live stream as well. The whole plan is to film a lot of B-roll that I can reuse for all kinds of videos, for various topics in the future when it comes to history or whatever. But the other thing too is I want to film walkthroughs. So if I go to historic places, I want to film a walkthrough of it so I can publish that as a separate video. And then some other things I want to do is with the footage, I also want to see if I can film a vlog, so that way I can kind of show people like what my experience is while I'm there. Because while the live streams are really cool, sometimes the vlogs can be fun too. So yeah, I plan to utilize all the footage for multiple purposes. That way I'm not wasting footage and wasting time. So with everything, it'll be made into live streams, vlogs, walkthroughs, B-roll for future videos, and various other things. So yeah, we were planning everything down out to like to the hour pretty much is what we were planning, and we still have a lot more planning to do because the closer I get to getting to my goal, the more real it's going to be, and the more planning we're going to make sure we have to have ready. So that's the whole thing, and yeah, I'm really hoping that I can meet that goal this year. It would be really nice, so that way I could just film the videos and start work immediately on that stuff. Yeah, so that's the goal. Grim says you should go see RMS Nomadic when in the UK. Yeah, that was in my video. I think I put it in there. But yeah, I plan to see the Nomadic as well. plan to see a lot of stuff. Some people are saying, oh, you should go to Liverpool, and I thought that'd be really great. I would love to go to Liverpool, but I may not have the time or the money to go to Liverpool, because that's extra costs that we haven't calculated in. And so we might be able to do it. If I make the goal and a little bit more, then I might be able to go to Liverpool as well. And hopefully if we have time, because we have 12 days. Because what happens is the ship will drop us off in Southampton, and the ship normally, it spends a day there and turns back around. Well, obviously we can't hop on that voyage because then we don't have any time to spend in the UK. So what we're going to do is we're going to get dropped off there, and then we have exactly 12 days before the ship comes back, and then that's when we'll catch it. So in those 12 days, we plan to see Northern Ireland, Belfast, really, just Belfast. Because we only have like 2 days to see Belfast, because we have to take a plane from London to Belfast. If we get there early enough, then we'll have a partial day to see the Titanic Museum, the Titanic Docks, the Titanic Pump House, the Nomadic, and HMS Caroline. Those are the 4 attractions we really want to see in Belfast. And then, we'll have dinner that night, sleep at a nearby lodging, and then the next morning we'll take a plane back to London. I think Paris is closer towards the end of the trip. I think Paris is at the end of the trip. We'll spend 3 days going to the Disneyland Paris, because my friend on his channel, he records theme park ride-through videos. So for his channel, he has to go to Disneyland Paris. And I'm not going to be by myself all the time, so I'm going to go with him, and as well as film stuff for my channel for Disneyland Paris, because I might as well, I'm there, right? So I might as well film stuff for Disneyland Paris, try to make some Disneyland Paris videos out of that as well. So that's 3 days at Disneyland Paris, but the other days will be spent in the city of Paris. And then we'll hop back over to the UK, go straight to Southampton, and we'll have our last day in the UK at Southampton, where I think we'll see the Maritime Museum. And then the next day we hop on the ship and we go back to New York. And when we're in New York, we want to see the memorial, the 9/11 memorial. So we might go see that as well when we get to New York. But yeah, and then everything is going to be filmed. Like, everything is going to be filmed. I'm going to buy all these, like, memory cards to film all this stuff, because you can make a video out of anything, honestly. So, yeah, everything will be filmed. So, yeah. Lots of plans. Let's see. Someone asked if I can do a video on Rotterdam. Yeah, I think that's possible. Vincent says, weren't they making a Titanic replica in China 2 years back? They were, and then that got canceled. It had to do with the pandemic. The pandemic, it was really difficult on a lot of businesses, and that was one of them. Yeah, it's canceled. Tyler says, oh, I can't tell you how much I love the virtual tour of the Queen Mary. I don't know how the observation bar was extended. Or I didn't know the observation bar was extended. I always thought the very front of the promenade was the first class outdoor portion. Oh no, there was 2 areas. There was an outdoor portion, and then the indoor portion where they expanded into. So the funny thing is if you were sitting in the observation bar at the front of the Queen Mary, then you'd be sitting next to windows, and right by the windows, people would be walking back and forth inside of the enclosed promenade. There's a famous photo of Walt Disney standing there right in that indoor promenade area with his back against the windows of the observation bar. So yeah, so if you liked that Queen Mary virtual tour, that's exactly what I plan to do for stuff that I film in the UK, is I want to do little virtual tours of all the places I go to and explain some of the history on those virtual tours. as well as make documentaries about those places as well. M. Brocky says, what does Queen Mary's elevator shaft look like? I actually don't know. I've never seen it myself, but elevator shafts often are the same thing. They're just a giant, you know, like rectangular tube with some tracks on the side so the elevator can slide down, but that's pretty much it. Let's see. Parakeet says, can you sometime do a video of the CN Tower in Toronto, Ontario, Canada? I'm not saying you need to travel there, but it's a very fun place, and its history may be fun. I'll look into it. I'll see if it fits into what I do on my channel, because there is a very specific thing that I do on the channel, but part of the reason why... Sorry, the sirens. But part of the reason why I need to travel to go to places is because in order to make the videos that I make... Wow, what is that? Lately, we've been having a lot of airplanes fly really low over my apartment building, just like the past couple days, and so it gets loud. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So the reason why I need to try to travel places in order to film them is because quite often what I do, I talk very specifically about very certain things. So for instance, in my Benson Hotel video, one of the key features of the video, one of the things that I had to mention in the video, was the rare wood paneling, and then also the marble that was along the edges of the bottoms of the walls. Now, the photos and stuff I found of the building were not good enough for talking about those items, because you couldn't see the grain of the wood, you couldn't see the look of the marble. In fact, you couldn't see the marble at all in most of the pictures, because the camera wasn't pointed at the baseboards. So that is kind of a recurring issue I have when I make history videos, is that unless I can get images of the very things I'm talking about, it's often difficult to make an interesting video, because it doesn't sound so bad. It sounds like, oh, I'm just here for the information. But believe it or not, it really does something completely different when you have brand new footage of the said things that are in the video, as well as brand new footage of your own of the building. There is a way to request other YouTubers to let them to ask them if you can use their footage, because like I've done that before, like the drone videos of the Queen Mary that I put in the Queen Mary videos. That drone footage belongs to other people, and I've gotten permission from them to do that. But in order to get that permission, I had to go through like 10 other people who all said no, or they said yes, but if I pay them. So that's often the problem with making videos of places I can't film, is because people won't let me use their footage. Or, another issue I have too is sometimes I get copyright claimed from old vintage footage that I use of ships and things. And so the best way to just avoid that altogether is to have your own footage, So thankfully with the Queen Mary, I've gotten used to knowing what footage to use, what not to use. And I have my own footage of the ship as well for whatever I need to talk about that isn't necessarily in vintage footage. But yeah, that's essentially why it's better that I go to these places that I want to talk about to get my own footage. Mark says that he saw the trailer for Titanic 666. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Let's see. Oh boy. I can't pronounce your name. Kira, I think it's Kira, says, why do you like ships? So the reason why I like ships, I only like, really, to be honest, I only like ocean liners. But because, you know, most ocean liners are very beautiful. And then the technology that operates them. Everything from the propulsion system to the power plant to the water softening capabilities. You know, and then of course the architecture. I'm a huge architecture nerd. I love all kinds of architecture and engineering and design. And so ocean liners have a lot of that in them. In fact, ocean liners have a lot of the very things I'm interested in. The ocean liners I like are steam powered. I love steam powered stuff, as you can see from my railroad behind me. I love engineering and architecture. I love interior design, you know, and I love artistry in general, and so it just so happens that ocean liners have a lot of that in them, and that's why I like ocean liners. Jeffrey says, have you ever watched Nicholas Fairfield's channel? He is in the UK and does videos on tea time and design. Actually, it's funny you say that. I did stumble across his channel 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. So yeah, I do occasionally watch his stuff. Let's see. Vincent says, what are the things that Queen Elizabeth had that you wish they adapted to Queen Mary? Well, at times I kind of wish that Queen Mary had the really large open rooms the way Queen Elizabeth had. Queen Elizabeth, her lounges and things were, well, some of them were slightly taller and larger. Like, for instance, the main hall of Queen Elizabeth was like 2 decks high. On the Queen Mary, it's really more like 1.5 decks high. It's really not that tall. But it's because for Queen Elizabeth, they just said, you know what, let's just raise it taller, make it bigger and grander. And so I kind of like things like that. What else? I can't think of anything at the moment. I can't think of anything at the moment, because I really like Queen Mary's design. There are just a few things here and there that, just minor little things that... I can't think of anything else at the moment. Kira says, you like Queen Mary? Yes, I do. It's my favorite ocean liner. Hello, Tangen. And Mike, yeah, it's really squeaky. It's starting to annoy me. Little Gamer says, what part of Mr. Squeaky is squeaking? So, the trailing wheels underneath the tank, those pick up power. And those trailing wheels, those are what's squeaking. The axles are squeaking against the bearing. And the thing is you can't oil that because it picks up power there. So if you try to oil it, you're gonna create a separation from the contacts. So unfortunately, if I want this thing to be able to run, I can't oil those wheels. It's just the way those wheels are designed. They're not designed like I've normally seen on locomotives for model trains. And when it goes around a curve, it doesn't squeak as much. I'm not exactly sure why. It normally squeaks a lot louder when the locomotive is going straight. Yep. Yeah, really unfortunate. Kira says, you like traveling on ships. I've never traveled on a ship before, so I don't know. Maybe I will. Conrad says Southampton too. Are you asking about where I plan to go? Southampton is on our list of places to explore because the Queen Mary 2 will arrive in Southampton, but we don't actually plan to explore Southampton until the last day when we go back, because we'll come back from Paris, we'll arrive in London, we'll go from London to Southampton, and then we'll have a whole day. We're going to stay the night in Southampton because early the next morning we have to get on the ship. But we'll stay in Southampton for the night. But when we're there, we're going to do some exploring, and one of the things we're going to see is the Maritime Museum in Southampton. So there's like a few things here and there. If there's more to see in Southampton, I want to find it. I haven't been able to find anything else to do in Southampton. So I would, yeah, if there is more stuff to do, I'd like to do it. But I've only found the Maritime Museum. That's about it. So, but yeah, we do plan to be in Southampton for a whole day. Mike says Belfast, Ireland too. Yep, Belfast to see the Titanic stuff and the Nomadic. Kira says, have you heard of Easton? I think you mean, MS Estonia. I haven't heard of it actually. Yeah, Mark, you're right. A lot of ships have their little Achilles heels. John says, hi Alex, do you know when the Queen Mary was first equipped with surface radar? Yes, actually, it was for World War II. So I would say the first year into her service, so maybe 1941, was when they first installed radar on the ship to aid for her work in World War II. And then after the war was over, the military took their radar back, but what happened was Cunard invested in radar. So in 1947, they installed a brand new radar tower, I think it's called, transmitter, I'm not really sure what it's called. They installed brand new radar in 1947, and she's had radar ever since. They've upgraded it a couple times since she's had it. So ever since 1947, I think they upgraded it twice. And then when she came to Long Beach in 1967, she has the radar that she still currently has today. So, yes. And in fact, the city of Long Beach currently uses the Queen Mary's radar for... I'm not even sure what they use it for, but they use it because they keep it. Sometimes you see it turned on, and people have told me that the city of Long Beach purposefully uses the radar. But I don't know if they're using it for weather or for ships, like tracking the movement of other ships, or it could be both. I don't know. Kira says, "Have you heard of HMHS Britannic and how did it sink?" Kira, please only ask your questions once. I am reading through everybody's questions, but it takes me a while to get to everybody's questions because I have to scroll through everything. But HMHS Britannic was originally RMS Britannic. Well, it never made it to RMS, so I guess that's fair to say. HMHS Britannic. And she struck a mine while going through... I forget what sea it was, but she struck a mine and she started taking on water, and eventually she sank. Kira says, how did RMS Lusitania sink? She was torpedoed. Parakeet says by U-20. So, okay. Yeah, U-20. Kira says, what is Princess Louise? I have a video on it, so go ahead and watch that. Mr. Zantastico says, hi, Alex, I have a question for you. What are your favorite ocean liner companies? Cunard, White Star, not included. Oh, I can't use Cunard or White Star Line? Ooh. I don't have any then. Cunard and White Star Line are my only ones that I would consider favorites. Other lines I don't really have favorites. I think the closest thing to my interest would be the French line. So that's about it. Yeah, the French line. And that's because in the Edwardian era, or the late Edwardian era, they came up with some really beautiful ships. So, yeah, that's going to be... Kira, Titanic 2, neither the one being built by Palmer or the one being built by the theme park in China, neither one is currently happening. Both were canceled. I think same year. Yeah, last year, 2021 was when both were canceled. So there is currently no Titanic 2 of any kind being built. Carl says, "Hi Alex, so it's a minimum of 1 day there, or the next step is 12 days. Thought, like you said, sometimes you go cruise on Germany, so I thought I could never go back and forth in so short a time." Yeah, 12 days, yes. That's exactly what's happening, is we can't stay there for 1 day. That there's no point, spending all that money to go on Queen Mary 2 and then not be able to explore UK. So we are going to do the 12-day wait. So we'll be exploring the UK and Paris in those 12 days, and then we'll come back 12 days later and we'll catch the ship back to the United States. Mr. Rex says, "Nice videos recently." Thank you so much. Kira says, "Can you do a video of a virtual tour of Titanic, please?" Yes, actually, when Titanic Honor and Glory releases their newest update to their demo, they're going to include some crew places. So when that happens, I'll film another virtual tour of Titanic. Maybe I'll do it live, because the live one was very popular. Let's see. The Element says, "What was the biggest ocean liner?" The biggest ocean liner ever built is currently the Queen Mary 2. That's the biggest ocean liner. Before that, the largest ocean liner ever built was the original Queen Elizabeth. So, yeah. So going back through time, it's Queen Mary 2, original Queen Elizabeth, Normandy, and that's as far as I can think of. Yeah. That's as far as I can think of between Britannic and Normandy. I don't remember. But yeah, Queen Mary 2, and then before that, the largest one was the original Queen Elizabeth. Crittenden says, "Alex, on your journey across the pond, you also need to go see SS Rotterdam." Unfortunately, I can't do that. I don't have the time. I only have 12 days, and there's a whole lot of stuff already packed in that journey. Let's see. Oh yeah, Tyler, I agree. The Titanic 666 movie makes me really angry. I can't stand it with all that commercialization and stuff of Titanic. I can't stand it. Hello, Lori. How's it going? Mark says, "I'm so glad you have scheduled time at the Southampton Maritime Museum. You'll absolutely love it. When living in London, I would train it down there on Sundays and hang out there." Yeah, I heard it's really good. I haven't seen very many pictures of it or anything, so I hope there's a lot to see. But I heard some good stuff about it. Hello, RMS Queen Mary. How's it going? Lori says Ward Kimball has a bad boiler. Oh no, does that mean it's not functioning right now? RMS Queen Mary says, did you see my email? Yes, I just haven't had the time to respond to it yet. But yes, I did see your email. Conrad says, have you tried conductive contact oil for Mr. Squeaky? I haven't, but I'll look into it. I haven't heard of that before. Let's see. Carl says, for your Paris trip, how to is your French speaking? I'd be glad to help if you need. My French is very bad. Very, very bad. So, I have no experience speaking French at all. So, it might be very difficult. I'm not very good at learning other languages. I'm so bad at it. I've tried for years to learn different languages, and I can't do it. So... It started out very sunny today, and now looks like it's gonna rain. But that's what it's like up here, you know, the weather just suddenly changes. Yeah, I'll have to look into that conductive contact oil for this thing. I just hope it works, because if I put that stuff in there, I don't think I'll be able to clean it out. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to see in London. I watched this channel called Free Tours by Foot London, and it's made by a tour company, and it's exactly as it sounds. You can get free tours there. The only thing that they ask is that you tip your tour guide. You don't have to, but they ask you to. But otherwise, it's a free tour. And I've seen the videos that they do. They are very knowledgeable people. They know so much amazing stuff. So I started to realize there was literally history around every corner in London. Just around every corner, because the city has been around since the start of the first millennium. You know, because it was first founded by Romans. So there's a whole bunch of history there, just everything. There's remnants of stuff everywhere. And then there's buildings that, you know, businesses that have been operating since, you know, the 1500s and stuff. So there's history around every corner there. I want to film as much of it as I can so I can make videos all about it. And learn stuff too, because sometimes I find that with these little known places, it's hard sometimes to find the information online. You just have to go there and talk to the people who work there, and they can tell you. But if you try to like find this stuff like on Wikipedia or something, it often doesn't show up. So, you know, like all the stuff I learned about the Benson Hotel, not all that stuff is online. A lot of it was just from the stuff that they printed out a special thing for me when I got there. They just said, oh, you want to learn the history of it? Okay, and they had this extra paper, like this printout of all the history of the building and of Simon and all that stuff. So I was really helped out by that, because there was just stuff you couldn't find online. I looked. So that's part of the reason why I'm excited to go to the UK to film this stuff, is because when I get there I can ask people about like little known things that probably aren't even online. Well, that's a good idea, Carl. I'll I'll see. So a lot of people have been asking about when I plan to go back to the Queen Mary again. It would be nice to go when it reopens this year. They're gonna try to reopen it by October. But I don't. At the moment, I don't have the ability to go down there. I don't have the money to catch a plane. I don't have any of that stuff. Like, you know, but it would be nice if it can happen. I have a friend who lives up in Idaho, and maybe next time he drives down to Southern California, like when the Queen Mary's open, maybe I'll see if I can hitch a ride with him, and then I can see the ship that way. The only thing is getting back up again, because he might travel back up like just a few days later. I might not have that much time to really see the Queen Mary, especially since I have a lot of family down there that want to see me. But yeah, so I'll see what I can do in terms of getting a ride with my friend and then just going all the way down there with him. Because I really want to see the Queen Mary again. I really want to film the whole ship, like I've been saying. Like, I can make so many more videos if I just had more footage of the ship. So I'm going to see what I can do, and I'll try to get down there this year when it reopens. Evan says, love the music. Good. I put a link in the description to where you can find it. What was I going to say about the music? Oh, I can't hear it because the music is playing on my recording software for the live stream. So I couldn't hear it even if I had headphones on because it's playing in the software. But I listened to that. So like the soundtrack you're listening to, I listen to that whenever I do chores around the house, or if I'm cooking dinner or something. I'll just put on the music and I'll listen to it because it's so relaxing. I have some of those songs on vinyl record, and I'll play those on occasion. But it's nice to have this big video full of music, so I don't have to constantly flip over the vinyl, you know. Yeah, Mike says music and squeaky. Yeah, the squeaking is really getting to me. I think I'm going to switch out the locomotive soon. Carl says, what's cheaper thing to fix, the first class pool or dig up second class pool? You can't dig up the second class pool. It doesn't, this doesn't exist anymore. It would be cheaper to fix the first class pool because the second class pool is not even, it doesn't exist. It's not there anymore. They removed it and built a theater there. So yeah. Lori says, haven't been on Queen Mary in a long time. Yeah, I know the feeling. I really miss that ship. I really wish I could explore the ship again. I think it's time to swap out this locomotive. Okay. The littler locomotive is now pulling the train. It's quieter, but it's also barely powerful enough. I'm just making sure the wheels aren't slipping. If the wheels slip, it'll just grind away at the wheels. So I don't want to do that. That little engine is so small that it doesn't have that many wheels to pick up electricity. It's only got 6 wheels compared to the other one, which has 10 wheels to pick up electricity. So, so sometimes it gets stuck over the switches because certain parts of the switch tracks don't have power to them. So it's doing it. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, Tyler. Yeah, I know what you mean. About getting depressed over the Queen Mary, because I had felt that way too before I started working on Queen Mary videos. And I thought, it'd be really nice if there was somebody who could provide updates all the time on the Queen Mary. There is another channel, Jamie in Focus. He does updates occasionally, but I felt like I needed more. I needed to know really what was going on behind the scenes, and there was nobody who could do that. So I just took it upon myself. I'm like, I'll find out. That's just how I am with most things. If I can't find it myself, I'll do it myself. And so that's what I did. Was I went out there and I found people who could tell me. And so I thought, well, now that I have access to this information, I'll try to relay it to the public. So there might be an update coming in the next couple days, because I spoke to some people about the lifeboats and stuff like that. There might be some information, but at the moment there's currently still no information, because on the 25th was the final day of the bid. So anybody who has bid by the 25th, they'll get to know very soon if they won the bid, if they have the ability to acquire one of the lifeboats. So at the moment there's no information, because they haven't really announced if everybody's going to get one, the people who were looking for one. So as soon as we have information on the lifeboats being picked up and taken away, then I'll let you guys know. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Evan says, QMI of updates. No, as soon as I know if there are any, I'll let you guys know. But at the moment, there's no updates at all on the Queen Mary, because everything that's happening is happening behind the scenes. So there's currently no way to know what's happening. The lifeboats are still sitting in the parking lot. There's nothing visibly happening from the outside that anybody can see. This is the part of the construction where everything takes a long time, because for the city to put out announcements of things, that's fast. It happens a lot and it happens frequently. But when stuff is actually being repaired and constructed, it takes a long time and often with very little updates. So that's why we've entered that part of construction where it's just taking its time, you know. Ow. Yeah, that engine struggles to pull that set of cars. You probably noticed it goes a little bit fast and then all of a sudden it slows down. Mike says the stream is almost an hour and a half. Yep. Yeah, these streams usually go for 2 hours. But it's kind of slow today, so maybe I'll end soon because there hasn't been very many comments or anything today. Not like usual, you know. But I think Sundays are the busiest days. People have been asking me to do like a morning tea time. I might, but the thing is that I'm usually not available in the mornings. I'm usually really busy, you know, so afternoons are really when I have time, because frankly the reason why I do afternoon teas is because I work throughout the morning and then I need time to get away from work and just stop and take a lunch break essentially. So the tea times have been my way to do that. It's been my way to kind of just get away from making videos and then just kind of like talk to you guys and have fun and stuff like that. So I don't really need to do tea time in the morning, but I might be willing to do it occasionally in the morning if everybody feels like that's something I should do, because I usually do them at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and I know there are some people from around the world, you know, from New Zealand, Australia, UK, you know, there's some people from India and all that, you know, just a whole bunch of countries. And for them, it's obviously not 4 p.m. for them. It's a different time. So, and the funny thing is, I think most of the viewers here are not even in the United States. Most of them are from all over the world. So it's hard for me to solidly put down a time and say like, oh, this is the best time for everyone, because I don't think most of the time it is. But if I did do a morning tea time, first I have to figure out what a traditional time is for morning tea. I don't know. Does anybody here know? What's a traditional time for morning tea? Oh, thank you, Thomas. Yeah, you know how long it's been since I've had a vacation? It has been since 2013. 2013. So, yeah, it was, what is that? 2013, 9 years? 9 years since my last time ever being on any kind of vacation. I just work every day, and, you know, and even now that my job is YouTube, I still work every day. Like, every single day I'm just working, producing content. And I haven't had time to just, like, travel, you know? And it's funny, because even when I do go on this trip to the UK, it's not really going to be a true vacation, because every day I'll be working, I'll be filming. And filming isn't easy. It's not like what people do when they're on vacation. They just kind of point their camera anywhere, you know, and film. I have to plan everything out. Like, I have to plan out my shots. I have to plan out, like, I have to know that before I walk into a place, I have to know how I'm going to film it and what I need to point the camera at. And so I always have to do kind of like a preliminary walkthrough and kind of understand where I need to point the camera before I even go in there and actually film it. You know, it's like, it's a whole planning thing. So the funny thing is, it's not really even a vacation. It's just going to work somewhere else. But it will be nice to see something other than, you know, the usual stuff. So it'll be nice to be able to go to these places and at least see the history myself. Even though I'm going to be working through the whole time doing it. But yeah, so yeah. But I haven't had like a true vacation since 2013. Everyone's like, what? Acel or Axel, I think your name is Axel. It says, even Sunday? Yes, I work Sundays as well. I don't have days off. Like, doing what I do for YouTube, you can't afford to take a day off. Because if you do, you get set back. So, yeah. It's funny because my problem is I feel like I don't have enough time in the day. You know, like, I feel like whenever I'm working on videos and stuff, I wake up in the morning around 9, because I stay up late working, but wake up around 9 in the morning, and then the first thing I do is I start making myself breakfast and stuff. You know, and then after breakfast and after watching like a TV show or something while I'm eating, then I'll like get cleaned up and ready for the day, and then I will start working. And usually I start working by 10 or 11 at latest, if like it's a really slow morning and I just can't wake up. But yeah, I start working around 10, and then I don't stop working at all throughout the day. I'm just constantly researching or editing or recording something or whatever. I'm always doing something. And then on days where I do these live streams, I have a good 2-hour respite from that, because then at 4 p.m. what happens is I can take my little break and I can talk to you guys and I can, you know, do all this stuff. And then what I do after the tea times, because if I wasn't doing a stream today, then I would probably still have tea at 4, but I'd be having tea while I'm working, which I know you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to have tea and sit down to it. But because I'm got such a busy schedule, I'll just sit down at my computer with tea and some, you know, biscuits or whatever, and I'll just have that while I'm working. And I'll keep working until, you know, if I'm lucky, I'll stop working around like 8, you know, p.m. So a brief day is 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. But most of the time, if I'm not doing anything else, if I don't have plans to have a phone call with a friend or something, then usually I'll just keep working through that. So I'll work till like 10 p.m. And then after 10 p.m., I like to have time to myself or to my friends. I'll call my friends or something, do a live stream where I'm playing games with them or something. And then we'll talk till like 1 in the morning or something. And then I'll get ready for bed and I'll be asleep by 2 in the morning, wake up again at 9. So that's kind of how my schedule goes. And I do that every single day. I don't stop. I don't have a day where I just relax and whatever. I just work. So I like what I do though. It's not easy at all. Like I was talking to my friend last night on a phone call. You know, like he records videos of rides and puts it on his channel, and he's got a very, very popular channel, way more popular than mine. But you know, he was talking, he's like, you know, people think that what he does is he just records a ride and posts it. Not at all. I've seen what he does. What he does is really hard, because he actually puts in the effort to try to film the attraction correctly, using, you know, his skills with cameras and, you know, his knowledge of how everything works, and you know, and then he doesn't have a gimbal to keep his camera steady, because you can't just be on a very fast-moving ride with a giant gimbal system. So he actually has to, like, hold the camera steady as he rides the rides, you know, and so he does that, but then when he goes home and edits everything, he is very careful about the color and the contrast, and, you know, whether there's visual noise or it's too smooth or something. Like, you know, he's very careful with all of that. Takes him days to edit just one ride through video, and people don't realize all the work that goes into it. And, you know, it gets overshadowed sometimes by the people who just go on a ride with a GoPro and then just post it right afterwards. But you can see when you see his videos that he puts a lot of work into it. And it's the same thing for me. You know, everything I do, I write the script. You know, well, first I start with research. I research stuff, and I try to figure out, is there a story in here that can be told? Something I can link that is emotionally connected to the viewer. And then I find that story, and then I research all the facts about whatever it is, and then I'll type it all up into a narration that is a story. And then from there, I will edit the whole narration down to what I think is a sizable amount, because by now I kind of can predict how long a video will be based off of the narration. And the most popular videos are between 8 and 14 minutes long. So any longer than that, and you might see a drop in views depending on what kind of video it is. But anyway, so I do that, and then I will spend a whole day recording the video narration. It takes a whole daytime to do it, because it takes like several hours, because, you know, I make mistakes when I'm talking and stuff like that. So you got to re-record over that, and I do that, and then right afterwards, I edit the soundtrack down, put that into a video format. Then I start looking for the imagery that must go with the video. So it does no good to talk about, you know, like, I don't know, let's say a particular event, like, I don't know, a vent shaft exploding or something, you know, for example, and then you don't show the vent shaft, or you don't even show a vent shaft at all. You just show, I don't know, like the bow of a ship. Like, it doesn't work. You got to try to find images for what you're talking about. So I spend all this time researching for images after that. So not only did I research the history of the item, but now I have to research for stuff to show. And that can take days. That can take days to research, because sometimes you just can't find the images. So what I do is really difficult, but I like what I do. It's really, it's a lot better than the jobs I've had before. I'll tell you that much. I don't make as much money as I used to, but it is something that makes me happy, at least. So, but enough about me. Tyler says that my current tea time is perfect. Awesome. SC says, will you go visit the United States in Philadelphia? If I'm nearby, I will take a look at it, but I'm not going to travel all the way to Philadelphia just to see the United States. So, but if I'm nearby, I'll go take a look. Mark says, while at sea, morning bouillon is more traditional than tea as such. It was traditionally served on deck from the trolley. Oh, wow. I didn't know that part. That's actually really cool to know. I don't think I could have bouillon in the morning. Yeah, the clam juice. Conrad says, Alex, do you take hikes? I don't take hikes per se. I take walks, but I haven't had time recently to take walks. I usually take a walk every single day. I love to take a walk at least once every single day, but these past couple weeks I haven't had the time to do it. Yeah, Mark is right. Bouillon is served in a bouillon cup, so it looks a lot like a coffee cup, like you know, the round coffee cups. So it looks like the round coffee cup, except it's got 2 handles. So that way you can hold the handles and, you know, you slurp the bouillon. So it's funny because occasionally there's a Cunard bouillon cup. Some of it's from Queen Mary, some of it's from Aquitania, but some of it is still around. Sorry, I'm gonna have to switch out the engine or something because this little engine can't handle the weight of the cars. It's just going. So I have to do something about this real quick. Come on. Okay. What will I do with this train? I think I'll just bring out the other engine. Bring out Squeaky again. I hate the squeaking, but I don't want to wear out the other engine because the other engine isn't meant for hauling those cars. Those cars are really heavy. I only switched it because to the smaller engine because the smaller engine's quieter. Oh, anyway, feel like no, yeah, everybody's here. All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna end the live stream because it looks like the live stream's getting very slow and stuff now, and it looks like a lot of viewers have dropped off. So, but yes. So this week, Friday, I was going to release my Oceanic video on Friday. I won't have it done in time. It's taking too long to put together the information. So I'm going to try to have the Oceanic video next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. But this Friday I will have out a video. I think I'm going to do the one about why Queen Mary can't sail again. Can't sail again. So I think that'll be this Friday. Saturday is a live stream. I haven't posted or scheduled it yet, but Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time will be a live stream comparing some of the class spaces of Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth. And then Sunday is the next tea time. I haven't decided I think we'll just do another afternoon tea because I don't know what time in the morning to do a morning tea time, and frankly, I'm not even really available in the mornings. So, yeah, so the next tea time will be Sunday at 4 p.m. And so, yeah, so I'll see you guys all then. And yeah, see y'all later. Bye-bye.